Okay, here we go. And welcome back. Okay, so you've had some time to think it over at the break. Are you still planning to head to uh, the Stumbling Tiger, or are you doing something else?
I think it's
I'm
late
fine with
enough in the day that I think the Stumbling Tigers should be kind of heating up now.
hmm Plus, we can kind of ask McChum how to, best approach the brothel.
See that. By the way, just as a note, not necessarily for today,
Okay.
but if some point we go back to one of the three, the expert that we already been to, or another one, we should also mention looking into, like I said, see if those fish creatures, whatever, have any form of local legend or anything, that we're not aware of.
Yeah, we should also see if any of them know who is the expert on that particular Chinese written Chinese language of that particular dynasty.
Because yeah, there's definitely a connection there. At some point, you can't have that, mention drops off of the cult, that certain period, and then a bunch of experts just get whacked.
Well, I think they got whacked because someone was there.
Yeah, but he went there, looking for experts in that period, so it's still all connected.
Very well. So you are heading over to the Stumbling Tiger. Let me. Okay. And. Your dear friend, McChum, is once again behind the bar. And he sees you. Gentlemen, twice in a week.
Oh, we did say that we were planning to make this our watering hole in the evenings.
Well, welcome. What can I do for you?
I order a scotch.
Irish whiskey.
Well, the Irish may have invented whiskey, but the Scots perfected it.
I don't know. This red breast is fantastic.
Actually, talking about that off topic, I just had last night a cider in triple aged whiskey barrels.
Nice.
Ooh, it's up here in Ontario. Amazing! I've never tasted cider like that before.
So, McChum, being half Scottish, has a very good selection, and this is definitely, the best Scotch that you've had in all of the divey bars that you've gone to. Um,
Helps get rid of the taste of the other ones.
I just killed a bottle of Bunnahabhain this week, and I've got to go get another. That stuff is fantastic.
So, how are you finding my city?
Oh, quite interesting. It's has its ups and downs. As I look around at the bar, is there anyone that we've seen here before here?
At the moment, only McChum is there. There are other patrons in the bar, but you don't recognize anybody other than McChum.
Hmm.
Gentlemen, anything that I can do for you other than the drink?
Well, yes, actually, you could. We'd gone to the newspapers and found out about, because our interests get into the slightly bizarre, as we've talked about before. And we noticed that one of the places that had an interesting article is just a few blocks away from here.
And what is that?
And I'd mentioned the flower place, the basically the brothel.
Okay. Um. So yes, yeah, that was just a couple days before you got into town.
Yeah.
I I myself only heard about it from the newspaper. Um. You know.
Can I do a psych roll when he says that one?
You can.
Because I'm starting to really, not that I blame him, but I am seriously doubting him at this time point.
You
Not
think
that
he's
I would.
100% spot on with you.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I can't buy a psych roll.
I'm just gonna do it just for the heck of it.
You got
Of course,
50%.
Yeah.
Holy crap, Alistair.
Alistair, you also believe that he is being honest with you on this one.
Yeah.
With my extensive knowledge of psychology and my 10.
Read it in a book once.
Yeah, you all believe that he's on the level here. He says, you know, I wish I could say differently, but murders in this town are not that uncommon.
No. We were just we're looking into the oddball stuff with this one, and we wanted to make sure that we knew what to say and what not to say for that section of town. Or if you happen to, I don't believe you know this particular brothel, but you might be able to know something that would. You might know someone who does, and would make us aware of how we should.
I could certainly sell you some information about that.
Seems like the kind of place our friend Jack would kind of frequent. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
He laughs and says, I could certainly sell you some information about that.
And I slip him 10.
Okay.
Well, we might be able to certainly be in the market for some information.
He says so that particular flower girl house, the madam is calls herself Auntie G. There's rumors that the house has ties to the Green Gang, so tread carefully if you decide to go there and ask questions. You don't want to end up on their bad side.
How's
Go
ahead.
A particular you could probably bribe your way in to at least be able to see the room, but I wouldn't try to push it too much further than that.
All right. Well, I appreciate the information. And I kind of, yeah, that's good information to have. And I look at him and go,
Boom.
Go ahead, guys. I was thinking something I got slipped up.
Anything
think
else I can do for you gentlemen tonight?
yeah, just
That's
kind of
it.
keep the drinks coming for now.
Yeah. Oh, and
That I can
tell-
do.
I
Lads,
look
that
at
I
him and
can
go,
do.
and I look at him and go, and make sure let our mutual acquaintance know to tread lightly and stay one step ahead. It seems he's been able to successfully do that so far.
I said, so Green Gang, you said? Best to
Yes.
stay on their good side. Is there any other sort of players that we should know about who's we benefit by staying out of there?
I mean, frankly, I
Bad
would
side.
stay, if you can, stay away from all of the street gangs, but the Green Gang is definitely one of the most connected at this point.
Wise words.
Mm.
They don't have a lot of patience for Europeans and Americans.
Well, I can't blame them considering the history.
What
And
else can
we,
I do for you, gentlemen?
I think I mentioned what I said that about our mutual friend or not, our mutual acquaintance keep on keeping a couple steps ahead.
I'm sure he will. As I said, I haven't talked with him in months.
Yeah, I understand. Interesting events down, you know, and I low key to him, just him and I and the group of us there at the Siemens and at the um,
Temple.
temple. Like I said, one step ahead. And I smile and said, "Yeah, like I said, keep the drinks going." And this is to staying safe and away from our enemies.
Very well. He pours you another round.
Yeah. Oh, and I go, one other thing. The gentleman that was here when we were here, the man, the Japanese man, he
Oh
does
yes,
get he does get around a lot, doesn't he?
I've seen him in here quite a few times. Good fellow. Always seems a seems he gets drunk pretty easily, but uh he never starts fights, so I don't know who am I to worry about him being a lightweight.
As long as he
Well,
pays his bills, right?
yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Always pays with hard currency. It's all I can ask for.
Yes, that's true. It doesn't cause trouble, and you're aware of it. And that's always a smart businessman to know, to be aware of the opportunities.
Yes, I recognize my regulars.
And we we'll sit down at a table, the rest of us, and kind of go. We're kind of keeping an eye on who comes in or who does not as well. But so, gentlemen, what obviously we want to hit this um, flower girl, this brothel later on. Do you want to do it tonight, or do you want to do it more during the day when there might be a little bit less green gang activity?
Well, I think there'll probably be activity regardless. The question
True.
is how many, what's their busy time? I think for the patrons, I think that's what we should ask. It's like, what's the time we're low? that we wouldn't want to do it. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's their high trade, so to speak.
Yeah, we don't want to
Physically-
interfere during the prime trade. I go. Oh, by the way, one would be a good time to.
He says, honestly, I would go right now before their evening rush starts. Otherwise, I'd say, if you, well, probably no one will answer the door before about 2 o'clock.
Good to know. Good to know.
So, which two of us wants to go in? I think 5 of us going in at a time to a brothel would be a little strange.
Well, who can speak the language first?
I'll find the naval uniforms and say we're on shore leave.
All right. Well, Lewis has some of the language, just not a
Like
lot.
that idea.
He has limited. His Chinese is a 9. I mean, he barely. And basically, I can basically order
You've got
breakfast.
Ni Hao and Shay Shay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we had somebody that could speak better than that.
No, we got
Martin has
32.
I think you should send somebody who has at least a little something. If there's anything going on language-wise in the back, be able to tell. So
I
to
could
speak.
go with Luis and also be his backup.
So we're thinking Martin and who else?
Your character?
All right, Lewis and Martin go in.
Okay, so it's the Martin and Lewis show again.
Yes, Martin
Excellent.
and Lewis show.
Excellent. Okay.
I kind of fit that. I'm short too, so I would definitely be the.
Too bad we don't have a Rowan.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What are the rest of you going to be doing during this time frame? Are you going with them and hanging out on the street? Are you staying here at the bar?
I'm thinking we hang here, get our drink on, and watch for the Japanese guy.
Very well.
He's gonna do something at some point.
Actually, that's an excellent idea. Why don't we see if when these two guys leave, we can spot around, see if the Japanese guy is there, and figure out if he decides to split and go tail these two, or stays on us. That'd be very interesting to find out what he considers his priority. And then
Don't forget we have that Chinese woman following us too.
Well, yeah, but we lost her, I thought, for a while.
Yeah, but they know where we have a tendency to hang out. They probably know where our hotel is.
So my idea is, well, why don't we take a look? At the very least, it wouldn't hurt to have, there. If there's just one, why don't we tail the tailor? So, yeah.
So how are you doing this?
Oh,
I
Martin
think they
and Lewis
leave
are-
and we just see what happens.
So are the three of you just staying at the bar, and Martin and Lewis are heading up the street?
Yeah, but I think that they're.
I think so.
See what happens in the bar after we leave.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's close enough nearby that it's not going to be
Okay.
split too far.
Okay.
We're gonna keep our, just see them off to the door, and I guess do you want us to roll some spot hidden? See if we
Yes,
can
if
spot
you're
our people?
looking for your friend, then
Finally.
okay. So here's
heart.
how I'm seeing this. Martin and Lewis go up the street. Seamus goes outside and is having a smoke outside the bar so that he can keep an eye on the street. While Jesse and Alistair are at the bar drinking. Seamus, you definitely you do see the Japanese guy coming up the street. He's very stealthy. You if you weren't actively looking for him, you probably wouldn't have seen him.
I would like to have
And
his skills.
and he he never makes eye contact with you, but you get the feeling he knows that you're there. And he continues walking by the bar and doesn't come in.
Is he going in the
He is
direction
going in the
over?
direction that Martin and Lewis are going.
Mhm.
Okay, so Martin and Lewis. So the bar is number 10 on this street. 10 Lantern Street, and the brothel is 88 Lantern. So it's just a few blocks up. So you get to the Flower Girl house. There are red lights in the window. And the door is closed.
I'll let Martin take the lead since his Chinese is much better than mine.
Is there a knocker or
There is a knocker.
can we use the knocker?
You can. So you knock on the door, and the door opens, and you are ushered in, and there are 6 women in the main entryway, and they look at the two of you and say, what services can we offer to you nice gentlemen tonight?
Looking for a girl with green eyes.
Can we talk to the madam? I think we have her name, right?
Auntie Chi.
Yeah. So, very important.
Sure, we can go get her, but she doesn't, why don't, we could get a better deal if you just deal directly with us.
Oh, this is a special request, so we need
We
to
do
stop.
special requests. Be even more special
The
if you don't tell
only
Auntie
thing they
G.
do.
Okay. I tell you
Apparently,
what.
this isn't a very good operation if they can scam from her.
You love her a long time.
But yeah, my suggestion is one of us goes with one girl, one of us goes with another girl, and maybe we find out as we're fooling around whether one of them show them the pit, one of the places. The reason we came here is because we heard, after fooling around or whatever about this, maybe have them look at the picture, see if someone in that picture.
So while you
was
guys are busy talking this over and not talking to the girls, at this point the madam comes in and says, "Why are you all standing around? You have customers right in front of you."
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. We were discussing it. It's not the girl's fault. It's our fault. I apologize.
What can we do for you? You want tea service?
Yeah. In fact, I will. Is that an actual legitimate?
Is that code for something?
I mean, I just kind
Want
of curious.
cold tea. Wink, wink.
Oh, I miss the old chow chow.
Would I even know what the tea service is? Is that an actual?
So, you don't know, but Martin is familiar that a lot of times businessmen will come in and tea service actually is just tea service. or they might start with that and then have companionship time afterwards.
Yeah, I think
Go.
I will go with tea service. Yes, I've calculated for tea service.
Very good, very good. Tea service for 2, tea service for 1. Are you together?
Yeah, we're together.
Tea service for 2. Very good. How many girls you want provide tea service?
Ah, 2 would be fine, wouldn't you say,
How many
Martin?
you've got?
You want to pick?
Is it like a KTV place where they just bring in lines of girls until you finally pick someone you want?
It's like dim sum.
It's
that
more
go by
like
on
an
boats.
it's more like a privy house in Amsterdam. So you get, they bring out all the girls that are available right now. There's 6 of them right here, and you can pick who you would like to have as companions.
Well, we're trying to inquire what out of character. We're trying to inquire what happened where the 2 deaths, right? So maybe we should take all 6, and then we could also pretend to be high rollers too.
That's fine by me. So we're gonna do the tea time with 2 girls.
I thought you just said 6.
Oh, 6.
What are you
He
doing?
said 6. I don't know what he said.
Whatever you want to do.
What?
But,
Now
we're
you're
trying to find
confusing
out-
me. What is your?
All right.
I mean,
what did
honestly, you're
Martin say?
confusing me this whole time. But what is your plan here, guys?
Well, tea time. I just don't know how many women that Martin said.
I said 6.
All right,
but-
then we do it with 6.
Because out of character, we're trying to ask the girls if they knew about the incident, and I guess the 2 people who were killed, and possibly if Brady was there, because Brady is involved in the other 2 incidents, right? So maybe he stopped by, and I figured 6 people would probably have a better.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, so we'll
So-
do tea time with 6 people.
So when you say 6, like, the madam has been very curt with you and with the girls,
Super
up
nice
until this
now.
point. But her eyes, like, she's like, and
My friend here has an
and Martin, she says to you in Chinese, are you sure you said you 6? It's a,
I always have 2 of them because if there's any conversation, I don't have to be involved.
just highly irregular, but okay, it'll be it's 10 silver dollar per girl.
This calls for one of my sexy parties.
It's $10 silver. Is she trying to rip us off? $10 is a lot of money.
She is probably trying to rip you off.
That's
Get
not bullshit to me, but
5 with like the 6th free.
Are these like super high class courtesans or something? $10 for tea.
So
It's really good tea,
High-end
man.
establishment.
haggling isn't a skill in BRP, is it?
No, it isn't.
Persuade, man.
I will take a persuade
charm.
or persuade or charm.
All right, let me
As
pull up.
as you try and haggle this price.
All
Yes.
right.
Okay, yes. So you're able to, she's like, all right. Yes. I should have known better. You've obviously been to Shanghai before. All right. For just tea service, 25. If you want more,
All 6?
if you want all 6. If you want more, then we negotiate for more after that. But if you just want tea service with all my lovely ladies, 25.
And we
Well, how lovely is lovely, right? Like on the scale of 1 to 10, what are we talking about here?
Hot or
So
not?
We just
Shanghai edition.
so they're all pretty good looking. I mean, they're not 10, they're not supermodels, but like none of them are like horribly deformed or anything.
Frack horse.
So, do they respect us for being hard bargainers? That's a Chinese thing.
She does seem to have some respect for you.
Okay, cool.
She didn't call her big Korean bouncers, so you're good for right now.
Oh, we got cash on the
Yep.
merit blood here.
Yeah.
Okay, so she says, "All right, girls,
Chop chop.
tea for six." And so the girls lead you into they have you take your shoes off, and they lead you into this room and have you sit down on pillows, and they bring out a big tea service, and um two of the girls are massaging your shoulders, and two of them are massaging your feet, and the other two are actually like brewing the tea and serving the tea, and they're doing it all formal and fancy. And
As they're doing this, I'm just going to be um, chit chatting with them, just to
My friend
not-
here is a big shot from England. I talk him up.
England, oh, very.
yeah, I chit chat, just find out how many where they're from, how long they've worked here, find out what they like, what have they been able, as in, you know, so it's that I'm being lighthearted and trying to be charming is what I'm saying.
So the one that is the most talkative to you, the
Mhm.
name that she gives you is Quivering Jade, and she's the one who's serving your tea, and so she's the most outgoing and most talkative. Everybody else is just like, I think they're enjoying that this is a kind of slack assignment for them, especially with all of them, so they can kind of goof off a little bit, and really aren't putting in a whole lot of effort. But Quivering Jade actually seems to have taken a liking to you, and is talking with you, and saying, okay, yeah, oh yes, I was born in Shanghai. I've been working for Auntie G for about a year now, yes, and yeah, I've
Is she
seen a
like
lot of
speaking
a lot of
English?
girls come and go. A lot of girls just this isn't the lifestyle for them.
Understandable. It's not an easy life for anyone.
Some girls uh some girls are owned by the flower girl house, and some girls who don't make the cut here get sold to a less prestigious house if they don't make
Does
the
that
men happy.
does that happen often?
Happens more often than I like to talk about.
Have you lost any friends recently?
Yes, well, a couple. So there was a girl who died here a couple of nights ago, and before before her, she was brand new. It was her first night that she was killed. Very very bad luck. Uh, the girl who had the room before her, uh, Auntie G, didn't like her, and sold her to uh, another another shop uh, further down the street, a not reputable shop.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh, what is this shop so we avoid it?
it's number 140.
Okay.
But yes,
Remember that,
Choi Mei
Martin.
Ling. She she had the room before, and she she had an American who was sharing the room with her. Said her boyfriend, and Auntie G disliked the American, uh, so she sold Choi Mei Ling to 140.
Mm. Well, Americans can be quite brash.
Yes, but handsome.
Oh, that's true. They are handsome and tall. And considering how short my character is, I'm also, I'm trying to make a crack that, I'm making fun of myself too. I'm being, humorous. And I'm enjoying the tea ceremony since I've never been to a tea ceremony before. You have anything you want to say, Martin? Because I think.
Well, I think the outer character. I think we probably found the lead we needed because
Yeah.
maybe we show her the picture of Mr. Brady and see if.
Oh yes, that there. That's John. That's Choi Mei Ling's John.
Interesting. And I put the pocket.
Friend of yours?
Just know of him. In passing, we know something about all these people in the picture, and we had heard rumors that they've been around. Just it's more along the lines of a passing acquaintance, not really knowing.
We could give her a nice tip and our card, and like if she happens to see him, she can contact us or something.
And that it would benefit her. That we would be very pleased.
Very good, very good.
And I let the other girls know anyone who does would benefit greatly.
So they all
like let them see the cash roll. Just, not too subtle.
So they all nod and giggle, and
we need to give this quivering jade a big tip.
Yeah,
and like I mean of cash,
That's what she said.
Yeah. And I make sure that I give them a tip outside of besides what I own Auntie G, so they know that I'm making sure they're taken care of too.
Very good. Is there anything else that you want to do here at the Flower Girl shop?
No, I think we found out exactly what we want to know, and I'm real tempted to go to 140 after this.
We should get some
back. But I want to make sure that we're not being followed. And I know the Japanese guy's been following us all over the place. I mean, I didn't know he followed us here because I didn't ask for a spot in, but I'm guessing because he's been able to keep track of us that he's still following us. And I'm starting to suspect that, just knowing my history at this time point, I'm wondering if he might be connected to the Japanese Navy or something like that. They did historically do a lot of espionage during this time point. It wouldn't surprise me, but I'm a big Pacific War nut, so that's why I'm saying that.
Or he could be a sorcerer.
That's true too.
Or ninja.
Or Oga Magi. All right.
I want ninjas to be a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So you come out of the tea ceremony, and Auntie G is there. Says, you have good time.
Yes, we did. It was quite excellent, and we now know why your house has such a fine reputation.
Well, come again.
Yes, and I make sure to pay her in the silver.
Oh, she insisted on payment up front.
Out front ahead, yes. And then I bow and Martin bows and we take off. And we're going to head back to the bar but I am going to see if I am going to be seeing if we're being followed
Okay.
because I'm not about to go to 140 until I know I don't want to lead someone that we don't want going places.
Extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Spotted him so high.
Right next to you. He's breathing down your neck.
so here's what happened. So Seamus saw the Japanese guy follow you guys up the street. He watched you go into the flower girl shop, and then he must have just made a lap around the block because Seamus, you didn't see him come back your way, and he's not there when uh, Lewis and Martin come out of the oh puppy come out of the flower girl shop an hour later.
Mm.
We're gonna have to do something about this guy.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to see him this often, I expect flowers and candy at least. And I know Martin wants a kiss. So, but we head back to the bar, knowing that we're being followed. And now we see him, right?
No, you don't see him.
Okay. But we head back to the bar, and
Okay. Uh, Seamus is, Seamus, were you standing out front for the whole hour? Or were you just, kind of, you stood outside when they left and then came back in? What were you doing?
I dragged it out, see as far as I could see the Japanese guy until basically I lost sight of him.
Yep.
Then I went back in the bar,
Okay.
but periodically I'd come back out, uh, uh, while waiting to see, take a look around, right?
Okay. You never saw him again after you lost sight of him down the street.
And when we do a roll, chances are we see our other friend.
You had a hard. Well, okay. Uh, you have not seen anyone else between
Okay.
your hard success earlier and Lewis's extreme now. You have not seen anyone else following you
Mhm.
since you lost your other tail.
yeah, get back to the bar, get to the table where our group is, assuming they've had several drinks under their belt.
Yes. What was everyone else doing while Lewis and Martin were having tea?
Having cold tea.
Working on our espionage.
So way back, back in the 70s and 80s, and I think even into the early 90s.
Into the early 90s. That's when I kind of knew about it.
So Boston used to have super early closing time, but in Chinatown, if you went after the bars closed to certain restaurants that were open late and asked for cold tea, they'd bring you a teapot with Budweiser in it.
Here in Ottawa, we just drive across the river into Quebec.
Even if you were 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Arizona, in Yuma, we would just drive across into the Mexican side.
Nice.
Well, also you go to the Quebec side too because the drinking age is lower.
Always a good thing.
That was the road trip we made from UMass. It was a couple hours up to Montreal.
Okay, so you get back to the stumbling tiger. What do you guys do now?
I let him know that we got a little bit more information, but this
Uh,
might not be the best place to discuss it.
Oh, and I just mentioned, by the way, I saw our friend from earlier.
Our man from the islands.
Yes, yes.
Mm, I'm starting to think more and more that he's uh, possibly Japanese naval intelligence, is my feeling, just knowing my history.
And so what do you think? It's because we asked about our friend Jack?
Maybe, I don't know why they might be involved.
If we're not being followed right now, maybe we should take advantage of this window to actually go to 140.
Mhm.
Well, this is the hot time period right now, isn't it? It might not be the wisest time to hit.
All right.
It's
I mean,
it's starting to, well, from what you were told, things would be starting to pick up now.
mm-hmm.
You were also told that 140's, the girls said that 140 is not a good place.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, we might want to wait till a little bit later on. Plus, I don't, just in case we are still being fought, I don't want to go directly to some place right after find out when we know we've been followed all day long.
So why don't we take back the hotel?
Yeah.
We can talk also in a bit more security, okay?
Yeah.
Because I have an idea of something. I don't want to mention it out in public.
Mm-hmm. I gotta make sure to, while we're doing that, I gotta make sure that we say goodbye to McChum, and that will probably be dropping by again. And we appreciate the scotch and the drinks and the fine conversation.
Okay. You're heading back to the hotel?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going up to your rooms? Are you going to the hotel bar? What is your plan?
Might
Let's
be
head
enough
to our
drinking for one night.
let's head up to our room just to check
Yeah.
our rooms out, make sure that that's probably the safest place to talk, and then head down to the bar afterwards.
Okay. You head up to your rooms, and all of you find your rooms in shambles. The dressers have been emptied, all your clothes are in a heap on the bed, any suitcases or trunks you own have been forced open.
Did they take my guns?
They did not take your guns,
All
It's
right.
happening all over again.
but all of your mythos tomes are gone, and the Mask of Hayama is missing. Nothing else seems to have been taken.
Uh,
Hmm.
huh.
The cultists want their stuff back.
Come on, I can't be that surprised.
Is Alistair crying?
I'm inconsolable.
Yeah, it's a good thing I keep certain things on me. Because they're actually kind of, if I remember correctly, those ankhs are those two little canes I have are pretty small, aren't they? About that size or so.
No, they're big.
Oh, they're big. All right, then they
Yes.
probably took those too.
Yes, those are missing as well.
Yeah, I thought so.
You should have figured out how to hide things better. Or disguise them.
Or at all.
Mm.
It's a shame because that stuff really tied the room together.
So what I was going to say that I didn't
Oh.
want to say out in the open, right?
Is my iron torch still here?
Yes.
Good.
Is now you were thinking he'd be Japanese, naval intelligence, did you say, or military
I'm
intelligence?
making a guess. I really don't know, but I know that historically the Japanese, if they were in this area, it was either Japanese naval intelligence,
Yeah, it
and
would
plus
make sense.
they did have interests in China. They were also involved in Korea at the
The
time.
Japanese have a history.
Yeah.
In this
Um,
being
and to be honest, all the nations had their spies here.
right.
Particularly the Russians and the Japanese.
So, and Jack, we heard, was doing some possibly gun running.
It's possible, but it's obvious he's been in town all this time, but there's no way he's in
no, yeah, but I
Rangoon.
mean, but he could be messed up. So this may or may not be actually mythos
Oh,
related. Is what I'm trying to
yeah,
get at is that he may be either running
when we see
guns for
yeah,
somebody for the Japanese, or he's running guns for somebody against the Japanese. One way or the other, that would have perked up this guy's interest.
yeah. I take a
And I
look
think
at that.
that's why I think is what it
Yeah.
is. But I didn't want to mention that because I don't want take the risk of anybody else. And I think mentioning more insurgents would be cause difficulties in this area.
Should we call the management up?
Very least.
Yeah, I make a phone call. If one of the managers could come up.
Okay, so a few minutes later, manager comes up.
And I show him what we have seen when we walked in.
We want a refund.
Or 6 girls.
So the manager is horrified and says, my goodness, we've never had this happen at our hotel before. I'm so sorry. What can I do to make this right for you?
Did anybody see anything?
Yeah.
Show us your security videos.
There's no security videos.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm gonna blast this on Yelp when I get home.
I don't know if this would be the age or it would be common here in Singapore. Do they have a household dick?
They do not.
I mean,
Interesting.
this amount of significant amount of rummaging, right?
Yes.
No one heard anything.
Not that I'm aware of. I'll ask the rest of the staff, but I'm sure that they would have.
My concern is this type of, and the people who got in here had plenty of time, and they carried off quite a few of our research materials.
Well,
I didn't say it. I said research materials, and now it's just if we could, we would like to have a little bit more secure rooms if you have it, or switch us to a more secure rooms that are a bit more secure. But we're also concerned about this might occur to some others. I'm thinking that because there's someone at staff that must have seen something. Other than that, you may have people here who work at this fine establishment that might not be, you might not know them as well as you think you do.
So he kind of takes this all in for a minute and says, "Well, I could put you on an upper floor. That way, if someone did come in, through, I'm not sure how they got in, if they picked the locks or if they came in through an open window, but I could put you on an upper floor where at least that would be less of an issue with someone coming in directly from the outside."
Good point. Can I take a look at the locks, see if they were picked? I'll use my locksmithing.
Sure. Hard success.
Nice.
Yes, you notice the telltale signs of a pressure bar on the lock.
Okay.
You're confident that someone jimmied the lock to get in.
Hey,
Well,
just as long as it didn't teleport in, okay? I'm
Yeah.
much happier with
Yeah.
somebody using
I,
the
I look,
tried and true method.
once I hear that information, I look at the manager. Well, at least now you know it wasn't a inside job. At least if it was an inside, someone would have had the key. Someone jimmied the locks.
All right, we want a 5
Who is
tumbler
this Jimmy?
Schlag lock replacement.
Who is this Jimmy?
And yeah, we'll accept going up to an upper floor at this time point, and maybe some help to move our materials. Maybe have some of the stuff so that has been rumpled, just to have that taken care of.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Pressed and stuff like
We'll
that.
have our porters move everything for you. We'll have
Yeah.
your clothing cleaned, and all of that will be
Yeah.
cleaned and pressed and be
I
waiting
don't
for
want to
you
make a huge stink of this, but I wanted you to be
in
aware
the
of this so
morning, and
that
we'll
you could take the most appropriate measures, because
make sure that that we have someone from the staff watching that floor, so that nothing happens again. And of course, we'll give you we'll take 2 nights of your stay off your bill.
no problem. And um, after he leaves, and we get, I go, well, either the cult. I'm fairly sure the cult knows we're here. They've taken everything that is useful to them. I'm surprised they didn't try to kill us, to be quite honest. In fact, I'm surprised that they just didn't kill us. So I'm wondering if there's some,
Another
I look
player?
I'm thinking Brady. I mean, I was a cultist, yeah, they want to get their stuff back, but they want us dead. Um, and they're not going to pansy foot around with us. I have a funny feeling, like I said, it's either Brady or maybe the Japanese. We're going to search the room ourselves while we're waiting for that and take a look. See, just a spot to see if we find any clues indicating whom it might have been, if there was any. I'm not expecting a whole lot.
Sure. You'll need a hard spot hidden because they were very thorough at
Yeah.
covering their tracks. Hard spot hidden. Look at you, Seamus. You're finding all the stuff.
Finally.
So you find you're not really sure how they could have missed this. But somehow under one of your piles of clothes, there's a bit of a silk scarf, and it looks like probably a head from a headscarf or something like that, and you distinctly recall seeing a similar pattern to this, not the same, but a similar pattern to this on the Chinese woman who was following you earlier.
We could find out if this pattern is sold someplace or has specific meaning.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and this means too, if the Chinese woman, not to say necessarily the case, but if she's cult, that means probably the Japanese guy definitely isn't. And if he's like Lewis's idea of being with the Japanese, some government somehow or military, I'm thinking at some point, that naval bombardment of a certain island wouldn't be a bad thing. If you get where I'm going. I mean, at this point, we can take the aid from the Japanese.
Yeah.
It's only 1925.
By that time point, they already have the Congo and and the three sister ships. Those all have 14-inch guns
Well,
at that
we're,
time point.
we're gonna need torpedoes though, right? Because
Oh, they carried torpedoes back then. During World War One and just a little after that, a lot of the battleships and cruisers still had torpedo banks on them.
but aren't they? They're usually going horizontal, right? We want to go vertical, because there's probably a deep one city uh, near Dragon Island.
Now you're talking about depth charging.
Yeah, now you have depth charges.
Big
Of
ass
course,
depth
they're
charges.
gonna have that.
And they're going to have depth charges. Maybe not the battleships, but definitely the destroyers and cruisers. But yeah, I'm so this is we at least have a clue of using this headscarf. Maybe that will get us. I'm still thinking. The other thing I said, we know Brady had a girlfriend, and we know that maybe this headscarf. I mean, let's face it here. I just can't imagine if the cult could get into our room, why they wouldn't just kill us. I'm not saying it isn't the cult, but it seems strange to me because they've left our weapons here too. Do you see the cult doing that, or do you see another player involved?
I'm not saying it's aliens.
No,
We've got a whole list of experts, three of whom seem important to us or something. Maybe we could go and show the scarf to them, particularly the guy we spent $20 on.
Yeah, well,
try to get some more value out of that.
I will go down later on to Martin and I will go down later on to the manager and ask him, ask him if he seems to recognize the scarf or what area of town, or does it belong to get some idea about it.
He doesn't recognize it, but he does tell you that it's a very fine grade silk.
So this would not be owned by someone.
He says it definitely comes from it's definitely expensive.
Where would we go to get something like this, or someone who would know, so we can kind of track down who might have owns this kind of stuff or purchase something like this?
Silk market, right, in Shanghai?
That's what I'm guessing, but there'd probably be a special place for our sellers of silk scarves for females, a whole bunch of areas that he would know about. This is a high-end item, so he would know.
He says that he thinks that something like this would be either handmade, or custom made. He can certainly tell you places where you can buy good quality raw silk, but he doesn't know anyone who is making scarves like this.
No, so you wouldn't be able to tell us where we might be able to find out who, or
No.
Okay, but that's something to track down. All right. Well, it's another clue, at least, gentlemen.
But we should run it by our panel of experts to see if there's some sort of cultural significance to the pattern.
True. Well, we can do that tomorrow, but let's get a good. We'll head. I'll make sure to pocket to safely. One of us should be carrying the scarf. I don't know if I should be doing it because I'm pretty much a lightweight, but someone who looks tough.
Well, I can carry it. I always
gun. Yeah. And we will check through our stuff to make sure everything else is secure. I'm just like surprised that our weapons and stuff weren't taken or stuff like that.
I'm not. I mean, here's the thing: is that we'd probably be. They figure we were able to replace them, and let's face it, I have a feeling as they're searching for whatever, they're grabbing what they want. I mean,
Right.
anything else is going to parry them down. Besides, they're carrying what the tomes, the mass, right? They get stopped on the street or something like that. Gun's going to get them into trouble. Bunch of books, nobody's going to look twice.
Yeah. However, we could see if there anyone outside the hotel noticed anything. But we'll find out later
Yeah.
on. Right now is not the time. Because he obviously did it during the day while we're here. So we might want to check outside our hotel, see what young, if there's a shoe shine store, there's always some type of boy or girl that does things, or people who are near these hotels that attempt to make money off it by shoe shine or being a runner. Maybe someone noticed something. Might be a worthwhile. But let's try to relax tonight. I know this is a ugly situation, but we're still alive, and let's have a drink, smoke, and get a good night's sleep.
Job to do.
But I agree with you. I think we should definitely hit sometime during the day the 140 place.
Hopefully,
And
they're successful.
hit the two other experts at least. I would definitely try to, let's see, what else do we have so far? We have that. Is there anything else that we have clue-wise that we haven't tracked down yet? I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously we have a Ho Fang, but I want to stay away from that just about yet. Oh yeah, we want to try to get to that Japanese guy. So yeah, if we see the Japanese guy following this guy, maybe later on we can try to pincher him so that we get a chance to talk to him.
Okay. Well, I think that this is probably a good place then for us to stop for the night, because I feel like if I take you down any of these other paths, we're going to be going for a lot longer. So,
Yeah, it seems to be a good place to stop.
I feel like this is a good logical stopping place for the night, and we can pick it up next time with you guys waking up in the morning.
Oh, out of character.
Yes.
For the timing. So the thing at the brothel was 3 days ago, and when did the Seamen's Club thing happen?
6 weeks ago.
Oh, so Brady's still alive.
Well, not only that, but he seems to be trying to stay in town, but staying one step ahead, basically. He's also trying to get something translated, at least what I'm thinking, or he's trying to get experts from a certain time period to tell him stuff.
The only question is, so why is he going to such elaborate methods?
Yeah, and it even looks like it's different cult type stuff. There was the fire, and then there's the water collapse.
Well, gentlemen, remember we have several cults that are working together, and we know that they've used the fire thing before. The water, I must admit, is something new. But
and the other one's the bat, the
bat
attack. So I mean, yeah, we've kind of hit those in each of the spots.
Yeah. So,
do you think he had a falling out with the others?
Well, the letter that we had found in England kind of indicated that he was a thorn in their sides. So he might be trying to stop them himself.
Or save his own skin.
Yeah, that's true too.
I'm going with mine, more likely.
Yeah, but they seem to be hunting him down, which means he's still a thorn in their side. So he must be doing something that causes them concern.
Yeah, if they're going to expend the energy.
Yeah. So that's why I'm hoping he tries to come in contact with us. I think us trying. He seems to be always one step ahead or escapes from things. Um, and he knows this area better than we do, and he's probably going to see us from a mile away. I'd rather have him want to come see us, because we've already found 3 places here where he was, and even his enemies couldn't hit him. So,
All right, guys. Well,
Okay.
let's pick this up in 2 weeks and have a great night. Those of you watching live, I'm going to throw you over to my friend Pondo the Mad, who's streaming some Dungeons and Dragons. Thanks for hanging out and going insane with us tonight. And we will go and lose more sanity together in a couple more weeks. Take care, everybody. We will, it'll be fun.
You give me a head short.
Good
See you in a
night.
bit.